This video is brought to you in association with Make Jewellery, the UK's best jewellery making magazine. For exclusive subscription offers, visit www.craftyclub.net.
Hi there, I'm Emma Ward and I'm pleased to welcome you to our latest demonstration brought to you by the Crafts Channel. I'm joined today by Corinne Brad, who's going to be showing us how to decoupage a wooden bangle.
Hi Emma.
Hi Corinne.
Yeah, I've made this bangle, made it over the weekend,
Okay.
and I quite like it,
It's
and I may well keep it. But it takes quite a bit of time, but it's well worth doing.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the first step in creating this bangle, which is quite simply like a decoupage technique. If I just leave that there with you, do not steal it.
Okay, I'll try.
I've got nice wooden bangles here. These are lovely. I think they're beechwood, nice and smooth. They're from Creative Expressions. You can probably pick them up actually in your local craft shop. But they're a nice surface to take the glue and the tissue paper onto. And what you also need is some pattern tissue paper. Now you can either get this maybe in a card shop.
Right.
You know, they sell a lot of pattern tissue paper now
Yep.
for gift wrapping. There's also quite a lot of decoupage papers available, again from your local craft shop. So I suggest you cut it into manageable rectangles of paper, because there's nothing worse than taking a whole sheet of tissue paper and trying to tear it.
Yeah.
What you need to do is just simply tear, roughly, down your paper. Paper has a grain to it. I don't know if you're aware of that. It's much, much easier to tear with the grain than it is against it. So we'll cut these into strips.
It has to be lightweight paper, doesn't it?
The reason it needs to be lightweight is because as that bangle is curved, what you're going to find is when it gets to the edges of the bangle here, you're going to have an excess of paper. So you don't want ridges on there. You want it to lie nice and flat, like I've done here. I mean, I've done half of this already. And you can see there it's smooth. What happens is as the paper gets wet, because it's so fine, it stretches a bit. So what we'll do, I've got some PVA here that I've watered down to sort of like, you know, dripping consistency. It will stay on the brush, but it will drip a bit.
Yeah.
Put it back there before it drips on the table. Generously slather the top of your bracelet in PVA, and then take a strip of the decoupage paper, or the tissue paper, and just lay it over. And you can overlap it, because it's quite nice when you see the extra design coming through that tissue paper. Okay. Smooth it down with a brush, and you can see there were wrinkles in it, but those wrinkles are starting to disappear as the paper is you know, forming in. And then I'm just going to paint on the inside here as well, just to tuck these bits in. It makes sense to make your bracelet as neat on the inside as it is on the outside.
Right.
A, it looks nice when you put it down. B, the other thing is if you haven't got all rough ends, when you put it on and off your wrist,
You don't want it
less,
to catch.
Yeah,
Exactly.
there's less chance of it doing that.
Yeah.
So we'll carry on doing this. And as I say, you'll probably need the equivalent of an A3 sheet of tissue, I expect, to get a decent coverage on here. I'm just going to put two bits on at the same time.
It's quite a simple technique, isn't it? I suppose this is something that maybe children could have a go at as well.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, there's also, with this technique, there's a variety of like three-dimensional papier-mâché shapes that you can buy, animal shapes that you cover in this way. And it's very easy to do. It's really, you know, when you were a kid at school and you remember making those money bags, you blew a balloon up and you covered it in pieces of paper, and it sat in the classroom for about a week, and then you were supposed to burst the balloon and you were supposed to have a piggy bank, which invariably collapsed because you hadn't put enough paper on it. So it's just the same principle as that. So yeah, I mean, you can sit down with the kids at the kitchen table and they can quite happily do that, play along with it. I would suggest, I mean, I don't know if you can get papier-mâché bangles. If your children were doing this, what you could do is you could make some simple bangles out of rolls of cardboard.
Yeah, sure.
You know, like big packing tape rolls. You could even decorate those up. But I mean, I do like these. These are lovely and smooth, and they do give a really, you know, good look.
Why is wood better to use than plastic?
It just holds it better. I mean, the plastic, sometimes with some plastics, if you put PVA on, it will tend to puddle. You know, sometimes because it won't stick. I suppose if you had a thicker PVA, it wouldn't puddle quite so much. But I want this to be quite watery because I want it to stretch the paper out. But it's really best to just sit and experiment.
Yeah.
You could probably use handmade papers, like silk papers as well. But really anything, you know, you couldn't use like an 80-gram photocopy paper.
No.
It wouldn't stretch enough to lay flat. So what you'd do is you'd continue to do this, and if you're in a hurry, another tip is if you get yourself a heat gun, like an embossing heat gun, you can just give it a quick blast And what it should do, if I can find the on switch, is it will dry that PVA off.
Oh, brilliant, okay.
I won't talk over it. It will dry the PVA off quicker, and also you can see it flattening out as you do it. So it does dry it quite quickly, and you'll also need to dry the inside.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll finish doing this,
Okay.
and then if we come back in a minute,
Fantastic.
and I'll show you the next step in it.
Thank you for that, Corinne. So make sure you do tune in next time to find out how Corinne is going to decorate the bangle using rubber stamping. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.